Good morning, everybody, and a happy Friday morning to you. I hope your week has gone well. A big thank you to Kai Lear on Twitter for the picture you're looking at above. We have a lot of royal family news, but we also have a lot of Harry Meghan stuff. And another royal family is back in the news. I've got a lot of links in the description box, but let's just jump in and get busy. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let's go. We are starting off this morning with Prince William. I told you that he was going to be going to London Tech Week, and he went. And he told London Tech Week that data, technology, and businesses could spot the warning signs of homelessness early and prevent it before it occurs. Now, Homewards, which we know is his homelessness program, is launching the Homelessness Data Lab, which will employ techniques currently used by businesses to, quote, ethically and responsibly identify people at risk of homelessness at its earliest stages when support can have the greatest impact. He highlighted how technology can be harnessed as a force for good, with the potential to help to prevent homelessness, not just in the UK, but globally. The project partnered with Salesforce and the UK property charity Land Aid. Let me let you hear what he said himself.
It's about building a model that shows that homelessness is preventable. The earlier you deal with the problem, the better. Prevention is better than the cure. With the data and the technology that we can deploy, being able to keep people in their homes, their jobs, their communities, families at school, that is inherently much better than the problem of if we then deal with the problem once they've become homeless. 430,000 people experiencing homelessness in the UK. That's 4 times the size of Wembley Stadium. Homelessness is not inevitable. It is entirely preventable. It is predictable.
The chief executive of Salesforce said that more than 430,000 people face homelessness in the UK, but it's not random at all. They are bringing together more than 25 organizations across the public, private, and nonprofit sectors. There's a data lab, and it allows them to put data and technology to work safely and ethically where it's needed most. And Dan Hughes, who's a trustee at Land Aid, said that the property industry has a real role to play in tackling youth homelessness. Now, today marks the first time homelessness has been on the agenda at London Tech Week, which is one of the country's biggest tech events. And what I found interesting is that the lab is going to analyze data to flag warning signs, such as a missed bill payment, a phone being cut off, a child absent from school, to intervene to reduce the problem before it gets any worse. William said, I'm not sure you realize how much that data can be used to predict and see problems with potential. Now, we know this is a big thing for the prince. He's been doing this for years. Good for him. Now, talking about homelessness, Queen Camilla visited St. Mungo's accommodation facility that supports individuals who have experienced homelessness. Here she's meeting the mayor, Liam Shrivastava. Now, Camilla, who serves as the founding patron of the Queen's Reading Room, toured the service to learn about efforts to establish reading and storytelling as tools for improving reading and well-being among the residents of the facility. Lorraine Kelly was there as well. Now, the Queen went to the center's activity room and she spoke with people who participated in the shared reading program that's run by St. Mungo's. And to mark the occasion, Camilla unveiled bookshelves stacked with titles chosen jointly by herself and the homelessness charity, specifically for those organizational having support. This collaboration has been running for 18 months with the aim of demonstrating how both individual and group reading can enhance well-being for those recovering from homelessness. Now, a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce and to Carol M. for showing us what the Queen was wearing at this fabulous event, and let's continue on. Let's move on now to King Charles. He joined approximately 350 guests at the Peninsula Hotel in London for a reception celebrating the British Asian Trust ahead of its annual gala dinner. Now, the king is the founding patron of the charity. He was greeted upon arrival by the trust's chief executive, and the gathering that night marked the start of celebrations ahead of the organization's 20th anniversary in 2027. And the guest list featured a mix of entrepreneurs, philanthropists, and prominent figures from entertainment and the arts. Dame Mira Sayal, I hope I'm saying that right, actually praised King Charles for his support of the British Asian Trust and the community, noting that his continued backing serves as a symbol of solidarity following all the unrest and protests after what happened to Henry Novak. Now, the charity, which was established again by King Charles in 2007, who was then the Prince of Wales, alongside a group of pioneering British Asian business leaders. And since its founding, the charity has positively transformed the lives of more than 18.8 million people across the region. Of course, the king got a standing ovation as he entered the room. He's looking good, I think. And the trust itself works to tackle widespread poverty and hardship in South Asia, to which millions are subjected. Their programs are livelihoods, education, mental health, conservation, and anti-human trafficking. It looks like they gave him a beautiful picture. I think he looks great. Good for him. Let's continue. And our next person we're going to talk about is the Princess Royal and Sir Tim Lawrence, who are going to visit Korea between July 13th and July 15th. Then on the 16th, they're heading to Thailand, and they're going to be in Thailand from the 16th to the 17th, and they will meet the King and Queen of Thailand and pay their respects to the Queen Mother, who passed away last year. Let's stick with the Princess Royal. Princess Anne unveiled a new memorial at Brookwood Military Cemetery to commemorate more than 400 forgotten World War I casualties from the UK and Ireland. This is an addition that was added to the 37-acre site near Woking, and it honors those who died after returning home from the conflict, whose graves were never formally identified nor their stories properly heard. Now, the work of the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, the Brookwood 1914 to 1918 Memorial, was revealed by the president of the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, which is Princess Anne. So on Tuesday, they did this ceremony, and she said it marks a profound new chapter in the shared remembrance of those names lost in the archival shadows. She said that this new memorial is a physical realization of that promise to collectively remember the soldiers who died of wounds far from the battlefield or who succumbed to illnesses while still in service, along with those who lost their lives in training accidents or were discharged as unfit only to later die in the care of their families. So this sprawling memorial features 31 large stone slabs arranged to mirror the formation of the brightest visible star in the sky when the armistice was signed in the early hours of November 11th, 1918. There are rooms, by the way, for 1,200 more names. God, how touching. Next up, this is an interesting story. Students from the King's Foundation attended a unique creative session at the StoneX Stadium where they live sketched a training session going on by one of the rugby teams, and they got to present their completed sketches directly to England's rugby captain, Maro Itoje, who also happens to serve as ambassador for the King's Foundation, and he was joined by some fellow players of his to look at the interpretations of their athletic moves on the field. Well, that's pretty cool. All right, let's continue. Let's go back to Princess Anne. I told you already that they had the reception for all the athletes from the 1976 Montreal Olympics this past Tuesday evening. Well, while she was there, and remember also she was the first member of the royal family to participate in the Olympics. However, while she was there, she gave a speech and she revealed to the guests there she had no memory of the cross-country portion of the competition. She said, I had a slight problem in that bit I would like to remember, which is the cross-country. I don't. I suspect Goodwill remembers it, but I don't. Now, we found out that she sustained a concussion when her horse became stuck in mud during one of the jumps. She came off the horse at the 19th fence. And then she got back up and she continued. And she clarified that the remounting was not entirely her own decision. She said, you know what? Be fair. I was put back on. The lights were on, but nobody was home. Wow. All right, next up, I really just wanted to touch on this article because basically what it's saying, and this part I do believe, Prince William is taking on significantly more royal responsibilities. He's increasingly viewed as the driving force behind the monarchy. I mean, King Charles is the head of state, but as the institution navigates, this transitional phase, William is quietly shaping the future. Now, we know that while King Charles continues to carry out his duties, he has reduced his cancer treatment schedule. William has stepped up to assume higher level management tasks, like taking over certain titles from his father, such as Grand Master of the Order of the Bath. And people have also noticed that William favors a firmer hand in family matters. He's more, let's just get this taken care of. He's taken an active role in decisions regarding the status of Prince Andrew and managing the royal roster. We know that that's true. It's because of him that Andrew is no longer in the Order of the Garter. He's out. And reports are also suggesting that William is highly involved in mapping out the logistics for his coronation at Westminster Abbey. It's going to be modernized and potentially more toned down after King Charles's ceremony. Now that I don't agree with. I mean, that's tradition. He should stick with the regular coronation. All right, let's move on to this whole Beatrice and Eugenie housing thing. They are saying that the king has moved to evict them from their rent-free royal accommodations, that he formally, the king did, ordered a review of their rental agreement and asked them to vacate their respective palace properties. Now, this has nothing to do with their royal titles or their HRH, but you're non-working royals. You don't get a grace and favor home on the palace estate. Unless, of course, they want to start paying the full rental price for it. It is being reported that Princess Anne is in the girls' corners. She feels injustice for them. They've remained loyal to the institution. They haven't created problems. They're working hard to maintain their reputations, but they're still finding doors closing in front of them because of circumstances out of their control. And Anne is troubled by what she sees as an effort to distance the sisters from royal engagements and public events. Well, now William realized he was done forever with Harry after Spare came out. There were passages in Spare where Harry portrayed Catherine, the Princess of Wales, as cold. And this, for William, has proven to be unforgivable. He will never be able to trust Harry again. Was there anything that just got to William so much that broke his heart that he just couldn't get over it? I mean, the betrayal of talking about the family, but one in particular, and it was talking about Catherine and saying, through a series of anecdotes in Spare, and that's, William just can't get past that. He said, I'm done with this drama. I don't want to pursue this. I'm done. He could deal with criticism of himself, but criticizing Catherine was the straw that just broke the camel's back. And now we know that Harry is desperate to get back in because he knows that once King Charles is no longer king and his brother's in charge, there will be no chance of him coming back. Well, I think that ship has sailed myself. All right, before we move into Harry and Meghan, I have to touch on this. Norway's Princess Martha Louise and her husband, Durek Verrett, are returning to television, and they're starring in a new reality TV show called Alternative Norway. It's a 6-episode series produced by Viaplay. I've never heard of them. It's supposed to be a warm, entertaining, and intimate dive into Norway's spiritual scene. Now, let me just remind you that this man she married has been in jail. He is a bisexual, HIV positive shaman who has been called out for basically being a scam artist. I did 2 videos on this couple called The Princess and the Shaman. There's a part 1 and a part 2 if you want to know all about this couple. And then we also know that this couple did a Netflix series just like Harry and Meghan's. They promised not to use the royal family in the pictures. They used the royal family. They called the royal family racist, the Norwegian royal family. There was such outcry that people asked for their titles to be stripped. They went against everything they said, and now they're coming back with a TV show. I did a video about their wedding called Netflix and Merching at the Royal Wedding. There's a part 1 and a part 2. Yeah, no wonder they're in such trouble. If you guys do want to know anything about this couple, I will be putting 4 links in the description box, what they did before the wedding and then what happened at the wedding. It's shocking. All right, let's move on. All right, Harry and Meghan stuff. I showed you this video and this picture yesterday where she posted a picture of herself and Harry in 2017. And they're saying that that was a blunder, the date stamp at the top, because it speculates to people that Meghan failed to properly crop the image and wanted to pass it off as a current picture. But since her and Harry are never in the same place at the same time, at least that's what most people think, this is what she put up. Yeah. And let me just add, I've never seen anybody hug somebody like this with their arm literally, breaking their neck off. And somebody was behind them posing them and then said, okay, I got the picture, you can move on. I mean, think about it. There was nobody around. They didn't take the picture themselves. It's very odd. Okay, let's keep going. We've got memes again. A big thank you to that one. The Royal Rogue, Sir Griftalot, Turfs Are Us, and Temu Duchess. Enjoy. Moving on, Prince Harry, they were talking about him on Sky News. Host Danica was talking about him. I really like her. Anyway, she did a very lengthy monologue about the fact that he and Meghan didn't go to Peter's wedding, and she has dubbed him the Duke of Netflix. I think that's the perfect name. Pointed out that unlike Prince Edward, his uncle, who was always a fan of the arts and he's carved out a 2-decade career in TV and theater, Harry never showed any interest in show business until he met Meghan. But he's fully embraced the lifestyle and seems to consider himself a bit of a power player, while he and Meghan continue to produce vanity projects that they feel everyone needs to see. And even though everything has failed, even the polo documentary, they're still forging ahead with a drama set in the world of polo that no one is waiting for. In the meantime, Meghan Markle is kissing up to King Charles. They're saying that she felt and he felt really hurt when the monarch didn't wish them a happy anniversary, but she still sent a gift package to Charles and Camilla on their anniversary of the coronation. And it caught everybody's attention because they're trying to stay in King Charles's good graces because they understand that the second William takes over, it's over for them. So Charles is their only hope in terms of keeping their titles. And if they don't win him over, they're sunk and they know it. Meghan's playing all innocent and she's trying to keep the door open. And it's being reported that Harry and Meghan know plenty of people view these gestures with suspicion, but they don't care. And their attitude is that until Charles tells them to stop reaching out, they are going to continue to make the effort. Ooh, okay. Now, this next article we're going to talk about is from Sugar Number 2, Jack Royston. He's right behind Omid Scobie. I think he doesn't know what side of the fence he's on. And he put out an article that points out that Harry has gone from praising America to criticism of Donald Trump's administration since his re-election, while his attention has turned to rebuilding his bond with Britain. Now, we know that in 2024, Harry changed his official country of residence from Britain to the United States, while a few months earlier, he floated the idea of getting U.S. citizenship. But we know that if he gets citizenship, he has to say goodbye to his titles. So that will never happen. But since then, Harry has not made positive statements about America, and instead, he stated in 2025 he has no plans to become a citizen. When the Democrats were in office, he loved it. He told ABC's Good Morning America how amazing America was, and I love every single day. And then the second that Trump took over, he has said nothing. But I'm telling you now, it's got nothing to do with Trump and everything to do with the fact that if he becomes a citizen, he has to give up all titles. He'll never do that. Now, this last story really threw me for a loop because there's a TikTok that points out that the picture taken of Meghan in the kitchen cooking at the same time in their Netflix docuseries as she talked about William and Catherine coming over, it was not taken on that night. That's something that all the YouTubers know, and we've all been telling you this for years, but for some reason, this has become a big story, and everybody's talking about this TikTok and the fact that it was displayed as while she discussed the night she met William and Catherine, but they never said in Netflix that it was that night. Now, this matters because Harry and Meghan documentary continues to generate a lot of scrutiny on social media. Individual clips are re-examined and circulated from the original content, and this time it was done on TikTok. So here's the whole point of this. I went through each of the episodes of that Netflix docuseries, and in each one, I put up all the fake pictures, all the things they said that turned out to be lies, episode by episode. So if you would like to see those, I am going to put the links for those in the description box as well. You can go back and watch them. Each episode shows you the fake pictures and the lying. Oh my God, you guys, I'm telling you, even the picture that they're talking about in this TikTok was in my episode number 2. I'm telling you, I don't get it. I will put the link to the videos that I'm talking about in the description box, but in case you don't want to go down into the description box, all you have to type into my channel is Sue Smith Netflix Part 2. New Sue Smith Netflix Part 3. Part 4, you get it. And you can watch all of the crap that I uncovered years ago. Now, you guys know I definitely want your comments on this. So don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, a link to my father's book, which remains up for sale on Amazon, a link to my Amazon wish list, as well as a physical address. For those of you who have donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.